Welcome back to Supernova Traveler. If you are new, thank you for joining our Travel Around the World family. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are returning, thank you for your support and share my channel and continue your journey. I want to share with you my Tuscany region wine tour experience. The day started extremely early, waking up around 5 a.m. in order to catch the 6 a.m. train from Via Reggio into Florence or Firenze, which was about 1 hour 30 minutes. And then we had a short McDonald's breakfast pickup because there is no time for a cute cafe. So I booked this excursion on my own through my own research. I found this website called Viator, and I'll put the excursion down below. So the directions were that we all were to meet our tour guide Lavinia at 9 a.m. in Florence at the Biblioteca near the waterfront. It was very beautiful and scenic on a cool rainy day in Florence. We then walked 3 to 5 minutes to our monster truck. Sorry to say guys that this trip is not handicap or wheelchair accessible. There is light walking, uneven ground encasing rocks, as well as dirt roads, and stairs. We drove through the Chianti region to 3 different wineries with a group of about 16 people, all ready for a good time. First winery that we visited was Principe Corsini as we walked towards Villa La Corte to do our tasting. There we learned that they use a special type of grape called Sangiovese, which is a special grape to the region of Chianti. And in order for a wine to be a Chianti Classico, it has to have at least 90 to 95% Sangiovese grapes. And the way that we know that a Tuscany wine or Toscana wine is from Italy is if it has a DOCG on its label, serving as the authenticity of the region. We started with seeing the vineyard and learning about farming techniques and how the olive trees are planted on the outskirts of the grape vineyards and that the grapes are planted in a slanted motion. Then we moved into the distillery where we learned about the picking and sorting process of wine. And no guys, we have moved past the days of stomping grapes. We all use machines now. Wine storage comes in different ways, either straight to the wine bottles or in the still containers, or they're aged for a little longer in barrels. And I also learned a little bit more about wine, such as a wine that's aged for 1 year should probably be drank maybe 2 days after opening. One that's sitting for about maybe 5 years has about maybe a week that you cannot drink it. But usually, who doesn't just drink the whole bottle of wine in like a day? At least that's what the tour guide said. After which we took a small walk through the gardens on the grounds where everyone took pictures. And although I love fall colors and the transition, I would love to see this place again in the spring with everything in bloom. after which we had a lovely assortment of cured meats, including prosciutto and salami, served with a sparkling rose wine and two red, one Liquorti, which was bitter with a hint of sweet, and a Don Tommaso Chianti Classico, which was sweet but slightly dry once it went down, and it paired very well with the peppercorn salami that was given. The second winery was the Regnana. Here we learned a bit about olive oil and how it's produced. We had a blind taste testing of two different olive oils, one from Regnana and the other that was store-bought. The extra virgin olive oil that was from Regnana had a very good quality, very good texture, and it had a very grass-like earthy taste, so it had lots of flavor. And we tried the other one and it didn't really have much flavor, but it tasted like a normal olive oil that we would buy from our store. It was just 100% olive oil. We then had a nice rosé, of course, to rinse out our mouths or clean our palates of the oil taste. After which we then walked over to a local restaurant hidden in the mountains and sat down to our 3-course lunch. Our first appetizer is a bruschetta board with, the normal herb tomatoes, prosciutto, chicken liver pate, which was not that bad, but would I ever order it again? No, not really. It had mushrooms and one with white beans. The second course was a cheese ravioli with truffle, which was so delicious. It was stuffed with herb ricotta cheese and it was amazing. Like, I'm still thinking about it a whole week later. And the third course was pasta and wild boar. Every dish was really good. The atmosphere was lovely and the company was so great. Like, this was an awesome group that I went with. The third winery was Lamole Lamole, residing in a small town of about 80 to 100 people. We took a tour of the winery, and out of the three, I feel like Lamole had one of the most beautiful wine storage rooms set up. We were educated on how they sort the grapes for their wine, followed by a tour of the wine cellar. after which the group went to their tasting room and we partook in a cheese and wine tasting with 1 white and 2 reds. At this point, I stopped videoing and taking pics because I had like 6 glasses of wine, guys, and just wanted to enjoy the environment. I am not really a wine or alcohol drinker of any sort, but every wine tasted good. And at Lamole Lamole, they paired their wines with cheeses, and the cheese was also very delicious because who doesn't love cheese except for people who are lactose intolerant? But then again, they like cheese too. Some people will be sick just to have a piece of cheese. During this wine tour, every meal that they selected went perfect with every wine that was given. After we finished our 3rd wine tour, we then went to a small town in the area that was really quiet, and we stopped in a few shops and cafes to finish off the night for about an hour, and we then boarded our bus back to Florence. If you're planning a trip to Italy for the holiday season or ever, and you enjoyed this review, press the link below and be directed straight to the Viator Chianti Safari Off-Road Tuscany Tour and start your trip out with a relaxing bang with the link in the description box. I am not getting paid for this review, but as an affiliate, I can get a percentage of the sales with the provided link. Now, if the price of 150 euros sounds too steep, or $175 US, take into consideration that 1, you get 9 normal size wine servings, 2, you get a 3-course lunch, 3, you get a sample board with each tasting. I guarantee by the end of this tour you will be full. 4, you get to see Chianti countryside. 5, you get some small history lessons in Italian wine and cuisine. 6, olive oil tasting to learn the difference between extra virgin, and yes, there is a difference. 7, you don't have to drive around to these places, which are about 45 minutes to an hour apart, and you don't have to pay the $7 a gallon of gas that it costs in Italy if you put it in USD. I would definitely love to do this tour again in the spring just to see the opposing spring colors, like I mentioned previously, and just to meet new people in general that are like-minded. This was a really great trip. Thank you again for joining Supernova Traveler for another Italian adventure. If you have any questions about the wine tour or how my stay's been thus far in Italy since I've moved here, let me know and put it in the box below.